Yes, children, now we will discuss the last topic of this chapter, that is fertilization. So once pollination is successfully over, then what will happen next? Next process will be fertilization, that is the union or the fusion of the nuclei of male and female gametes. Which is the male gamete? Pollen grain, and the female gamete? Ovule. So before studying fertilization, we will study the structure of pollen grain, and that is male gamete, and ovule, that is female gamete. So as you can see, this A, B, C, B, C, D, these are the diagrams of pollen grain. This is a pollen grain. If we enlarge it, we will find it has two layers. The outer means it is double wall is called exine. Inner membrane is called intine. They protect the pollen grain, and inside it this is the cytoplasm, and these are the nucleus is actually we have two nuclei. One is called tube nucleus, the other is called generative nucleus. Now at this stage, usually the pollen grains, they are pollinated, means they are mature pollen grain is at this stage. And here you can see one opening is there, it is called germ pore. From the germ pore arises the pollen tube, means this will be extending and pollen tube will be coming out, which if it lands on the suitable species, on the particular stigma of the same species, then further this pollen tube will enter the style. Okay, so this is to show you the pollen tube. Then suppose pollen grain lands on the particular stigma of its own species, then what will happen? This stigma produces some sugary substances which initiates or which helps in further development of the pollen tube. So as the pollen tube enters deep inside the style, that means it is further developing. What happens? That the generative nucleus, this one, it divides further into two sperm nuclei. Earlier there were two nuclei, tube nucleus and generative. So generative again splits into two nuclei, we call it sperm nuclei. All these three nuclei are very much close together. They are bounded by one single membrane only, and they share same cytoplasm. Okay, and then let us now see the structure of ovule. Now you know that ovules are present inside the ovary. So just as pollen grains have two membranes, exine and intine, similarly ovules also have the two membranes. We call them integuments. So this is the outer integument and this is the inner integument. Okay, inside the integuments lies the embryo sac. This is complete embryo sac, and between this there will be some cells which have stored food in them, food laden cells. We will call them nucellus. So this is nucellus. Now what is present inside the embryo sac? Actually inside the embryo sac there are 7 cells. Out of those 7 cells, these are the 3 cells at this end. Now you can see that these two integuments, between these two integuments at this end there is a small pore, and they are showing that this is the pollen tube which is making its way. So pollen tube enters from this side. This point is known as micropyle. Micropyle, a small opening from where the pollen tube will make its way, and this end can be called as micropylar end, this part. So at the micropylar end there are 3 cells. Out of these 3, the center one is called egg cell, and these 2 surrounding cells are called synergids. These synergids, they help in fertilization. And towards the opposite end, again there are 3 cells. We call them antipodal cells. So how many cells are there now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this complete is one large cell. We call it central cell. Central cell. Okay. The central cell has 2 nuclei, again sharing a common cytoplasm. So as I told you that the egg cell, the embryo sac contains 7 cells. 3 on the micropylar region, 3 towards the opposite end. These are antipodal cells. These are called synergids, and center one is called egg cell. And this is central cell, and in the central cell there are two nuclei. So if we count the cells, they are 7, but if we count the nuclei, they are 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is the stage of the ovule when we say that it is ripened ovule. So you can see now in this figure, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 8 nuclei. These are called polar nuclei. Okay, and this is now the pollen tube making its way towards the embryo sac. It will enter through the micropyle region. Now when it enters, this tube nucleus guides the pollen tube its way, and on its way further it will now disintegrate. Okay, so what is left behind? 2 sperm nuclei. Now out of these 2 sperm nuclei, one will fuse with the egg cell to form the zygote, and the second sperm nuclei will fuse with these 2 polar nuclei to form, this will be forming endosperm. Endosperm, this you will study in next chapter. Endosperm later stores the food for the development of the embryo. So here you have seen that out of these 2 sperm nuclei, 1 sperm nuclei fuses with this egg cell, and this is one fertilization, and this will form embryo, and that will be lying in dormant state inside the seed. And the other sperm nuclei fuses with these 2 polar nuclei. So how many nuclei are fusing? 3. These 2 and 1 this sperm nuclei. So this is also known as triple fusion, because it is the fusion of 3 nuclei. Okay, and this will be forming endosperm. So this is the characteristic feature of angiosperms, that is flowering plants. These flowering plants, they undergo 2 fertilizations. 2 fertilizations, we call it double fertilization. The 2 polar nuclei uniting with sperm nuclei to form the secondary nucleus, and further it will form the endosperm, and the other sperm nuclei fuses with the egg cell, and these synergids, they first just aid all these antipodal cells, they help in all this process fertilization, and later on they disintegrate. Okay, so we will say that double fertilization is a characteristic feature of angiosperms or flowering plants. Now what happens to the other floral parts after fertilization? Generally petal, stamen, style, stigma, they all will wither, means they will fall. Sometimes calyx may fall or either persist, like you might have observed the tomatoes, brinjal. You can see the green calyx still intact even when the fruit is formed. Like this is the brinjal, you must have seen that green calyx lies. In some fruits we see dried calyx still persistent. So if calyx may persist or it may wither off. And the ovary enlarges to form the fruit. Ovarian wall, the wall of the ovary will form the fruit wall, and the ovule will further form the seeds. Okay, so this is all about this chapter. Now you revise it. If you have any doubt, we will take up in the doubt class. Thank you.